Welcome to another edition of the Real Energy Podcast. Today we're going to have another episode of our Real Feels, where episode number 2, we've got Megan, pronounce your last name again? Shreve, Fauquier County.
Fauquier County.
Bartender of the Year.
Hey.
2022, yeah.
2022.
I always forget about that.
She also has a mobile bartending business called
Bar Maiden.
So anytime you need somebody to come out and be your mobile bartender, she and her partner Stephanie can come out and do something for you. So we're gonna get into something real interesting today. So
what
Megan's here and she's gonna be talking about something that I feel I'm gonna have a lot of opinions on.
Tell us what it is, Pat. Tell us what it is, Pat.
What Megan's gonna be talking about today is the emotionally unavailable female.
Now, Pat, what opinions would you have on that?
So I'm trying to figure out where did this come from. So
let's define it first.
I knew somebody.
Can we define what an emotional unavailable female is, please?
Well, what do you think it is?
Well,
I'm asking you.
Can I ask one question real quick, though?
Of course.
Is an unemotionally available female the same as an unemotionally available male?
It can be. Actually, it's funny you asked that question because I was thinking about that on the way here.
All
right. Am I the emotionally unavailable female or am I the emotionally unavailable person? Because men could be like this too.
We're not gender specific around here.
You know?
We're just kind of going.
And an emotionally unavailable female absolutely parallels an independent woman or an independent person. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of parallels. There's a lot of crossroads with that. So an emotionally unavailable female could absolutely look like the most confident woman in the room,
but
the most independent woman in the room.
Did this start off like this?
No, absolutely. And I thought about that on the way here as well.
So there was a life event?
Absolutely. So
or series of life events.
Okay, so you know how we were just talking about the rocks and the formations and it takes, millions of years, time, pressure, environment, circumstance.
Right.
That's how you make an emotionally unavailable person.
Okay.
Can we start back with what it is? What an emotionally unavailable person is so we can
emotionally unavailable, it almost comes off as mean,
standoffish,
unapproachable.
Okay. Is that like an opposite of an empath?
No.
So you can be both.
So Keith mispronounced what he said, but it was funny that you did that. I kind of feel like it was a Freudian slip. Mm-hmm. So you said an unemotional available female. She's not unemotional. She's got all the emotions.
It's emotionally unavailable.
Oh,
there it is.
Hey.
Yes. Thank you.
Wait a minute. What do you mean
that.
a Freudian slip? I'm very unemotional. I mean, very emotionally.
But how does that manifest itself in a relationship?
It's very difficult. So, glossing over the last 5 years of my emotional unavailability.
It's just been 5 years.
I'd say because I think I gave up in my 20s. I gave a lot in my 20s to people that I wouldn't even go as far as some of them were undeserving of my attention, my energy, my time. But then again, it's relative to, did I serve a purpose in their life? Did I help elevate them? Was I necessary to their process?
What you're saying, Pat?
I've had time to think about that.
It only is important. I love that. I love that saying when you always. It only is.
I have a lot of
that one, right? All our favorite ones from the one of the first few.
You're not as important to other people as you think you are.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
So
I had that epitome in my life when I realized that. And I said it in a previous podcast where you're only as important as you think. Oh my God, I'm just fucking this up.
You're not as important to other people as you think you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got your quotes, Pat.
Thank you.
He's speaking Jamaican this morning.
It's Henryism.
And he meant epiphany.
Whatever.
Thank you. I was going to do it. I
caught the epitome. Yeah.
Me no speak no English in no man.
Yeah,
top boy.
Go on, tell us.
But so I've had a lot of time to think. Did they serve a purpose in my life? Did I serve a purpose in theirs? My initial, I guess, what kicked off my shutdown was being done with the bullshit, being done with the, the fighting, the ego, the narcissism. I feel like we all have a touch of that, whether or not you're a full-blown narcissist or you're a full-blown egotist. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Like, getting control, learning and taking that step back and realizing that there's a common denominator in all of it.
Say it again, girl.
Who was that? Me. Not to go all Taylor Swift, but it's me.
Not to go who?
I was looking right at you when I said it.
That was when I said that I did my emotional, inventory on myself. I said, what was the common denominator in all my friendships, relationships?
Me.
It was me.
Yeah.
So I had to get it back to
your basics.
My basics. Like, what am I doing?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I had to take accountability for it.
Can I ask you one question about that? Did you feel like you kept attracting the same person?
Dude, I dated the same exact person. They just look different.
I had a period of time.
It's a ghost. It follows you till you learn your lesson.
Yes. What got me to realize that, not only did I realize I was dating the same person, 3 in a row had the same goddamn name, and I should have told myself right then, like, wait a minute, I'm going to fictitious name here.
What's that phrase?
Emily?
It's all in a name.
Emily? Wait a minute. All y'all bitches are the same. I gotta grow. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
So please go ahead. I'm sorry.
And that's what it comes down to. Is it turned into, with the realization of I'm the common denominator. Okay.
Did that kind of smack in your face?
Wow.
Like,
wow.
Gut punch?
Can I tell you that my ego didn't get a slice of the humble pie? Wow. The whole pie was presented to me.
Mm-hmm.
in that, yeah.
Eat this crow, please. Eat this crow.
Was that realization what made you emotionally unavailable, or you became available after you worked through all that?
I think it's what kicked it off. And realizing that I had this abundance of love and energy and I wanted to give it to somebody, but I was giving it to everybody and I was putting it in all the wrong places. And I never thought of myself as one because my best friend is one.
I can tell. I could tell in the first 2 minutes that you were an empath.
You were an empath.
You were an empath. No.
So you can't be the same then. You can't be both.
But I think you can be one and the same.
I'm an empath as well, and I am emotionally unavailable as well.
But here's the thing with that. It's boundaries. Like, she's very empathic. She can walk into a room and she can read bad energy immediately. She can read good energy immediately from people. She's really good at reading, hands down. Like, that's why she's been a bartender as long as she has, and she's great at what she does because she can read people immediately.
Got to read the room.
Shit, I'm about to get some side eye.
She has the strongest. Hang on. She has the strongest boundaries I have ever seen in a human being, other than Patrick. Like the both of them. Sign. Yeah, the both of them are very much like, you know what? This is my line. Do not cross it. And if you do, there is going to be a wrath.
Has it always been like that?
Yeah,
and that's what I was getting at is no. Mm-hmm. And that's where I was at with my 20s. And you got to see the tail end of all of that.
Yeah.
What did life look like prior to that?
She was a hot mess.
Give.
So going back to, realizing in my 20s I had a lot to give, but here's the thing is I didn't know what it was I had to give, and I didn't know how to regulate, and I didn't know how to control it. I didn't know how to put it in the right places. So I put it everywhere. So life in my 20s looked like a lot of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And on top of having all of this passion and fire and energy, that's what it was. It was just energy, and it needed discipline, and I had none of it.
So
I had none of it.
So did you come to a place where you kind of figured out what you were chasing?
Only recently.
What are you chasing?
What am I chasing? Wow. Okay, so that's a whole heavy question. Clarity.
What does that look like for you?
Clarity for me is inner peace. Clarity for me is I think this lesson is learning to love and respect myself so much with my healthy boundaries that it oozes out of me to everything and everyone around me. That's how I'm going to infect the world. That's how I'm going to leave people around me. But when I didn't know how to control that, I wasn't necessarily spreading good. I wasn't.
You were just spreading.
I was spreading.
You are my soul sister. Like, you are my soul sister.
Seriously, where's your mind? I'm just saying, spreading yourself out there.
Yes. It just spreading energy, and that's where it is. Toxicity is in all of us. Ego is in all of us. Ego is the enemy, and for the longest time, ego was driving me. That had the wheel. Ego had the wheel.
Yeah, but even in spreading energy. Even good energy can become toxic.
Absolutely.
If it's put in the wrong place.
It goes back to being the common denominator.
Yeah.
Okay. And life before that, what helped the circumstance and the environment that helped shape the 30-year-old me that shut down completely. I'm almost 37, just so you know. It's been a while.
well, I think a bunch of us are on our 35th birthday right now. So
but that decade leading up to that shutdown, and that almost like a factory reset. It was sex, drugs, rock and roll. It was self-loathing. It was being lost. It was giving my energy, my body to people that didn't deserve it, things that didn't deserve it.
Prior to that, did you love yourself?
Absolutely not.
You love yourself now?
Absolutely.
What changed?
The shutdown. The last 5 years of being alone, pressing pause on everything. When I tell you, I've had probably really great men approach me and want to date me, and I have swerved them all because now's not the time. Now's not the time for you. It's my time right now.
Keith, you had something?
Yeah, no. She said a phrase, self-loathing. Once you get, once you get rid of that self-loathing period, I think we all.
What does that look like?
It's a complete lack of self-respect.
Right. Like you see yourself doing things, and you're like, God, this disgusts me that I'm doing it, and then you can continue to do it. And you continue to do it. And it's not just one thing; it could be a bunch of different things.
So is it part of like a self-hate thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally.
That's
completely.
what self-loathing is.
But you can hate something and still kind of either respect it or deal with it, and it might not be that bad. It might not be that bad. It might be something that you just hate. But that loathing, that feeling of utter disgust for yourself, or like when you look at somebody on TV and say, "I loathe that." There's a whole new level of low when you loathe something. You understand? Like when you look at yourself in the mirror and say, "There's nothing about this creature that I see in front of me that I can stand."
That's the thing is you're looking in the mirror, but you're not looking that creature in the eye because you can't.
No, because it disgusts you.
Because you can't. You can't.
Steph?
I feel like you're about to break out in the next Taylor Swift.
What are you talking about?
What is it? I look directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. Yes, I absolutely was.
But so I have a unique perspective on her journey because I got to witness,
front row seat. She's on episode 5, season 13.
I mean, so I witnessed her before the shutdown, during the shutdown, and coming out of it. But there was going back to the self-loathing, like there was a long period of time where like she would literally refer to herself as a piece of shit.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
how many times did you say that to yourself?
She said it out loud to herself.
Loud.
Anybody that would listen, like she's like, yeah, I'm a piece of shit. Like she would just say that freely. And
now I just tell everybody I'm an asshole because that still holds true.
Know the difference, people. Know the difference.
I self-identify there.
But I'm just curious, like, I mean, because I look at everything from my experience and what happened to me and everything. So I guess where I'm trying to pull something out of you.
So let's start back at the early 20s. Everybody's family is as messed up as the next. We all have our dysfunctions, but I actually, in the grand scheme of things, had an amazing childhood.
Yeah.
My parents worked hard. But I graduated high school with 2 full rides to any college and university in the state that would accept me.
Wow.
I graduated early with honors.
All right.
They told me I was smart. I took none of them. I passed the ASVAB test with the Marine Corps, with flying colors. The Marines wanted me really, really bad.
Your head wouldn't fit in that jar properly.
I'm telling you what. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
God saved her from herself with that decision.
I rather would have had smoked a bong, packed the bong. Let's go get a bottle of rum and let's do this. And my parents sold my childhood home, the only house I ever knew. They moved over an hour away. I stayed in Warrenton, and I had a part-time job and was just going from rental to rental, roommate to roommate, relationship to relationship. It really was like a beautiful downward spiral. Like, went from like decent 19, 20-year-old responsibilities. I know I got to make money to pay bills, and I know I got to do this, and I'm going to hustle, and I worked hard. But then I told myself, work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
So you start to play hard.
So there was no real childhood trauma that led to the self-hate.
No, it was, and if you ask my mother, she'll tell you like my I guess the depression started around 16, and back then the research wasn't there for depression. There wasn't women were not labeled ADHD. We weren't even tested for it back in the 90s because it wasn't a thing. She just talks too much. Look at every report card I've ever had. Megan talks too much.
Mm-hmm. So when you were in school, were you doing it for their approval or for you?
No, I never did it for me.
You did it for other people.
I did it because my mom wanted good grades. I played softball because my mom wanted, I did like softball, but towards the end, when I played for the high school on the high school team, I didn't care.
So what did you want?
I didn't know, and that's the thing.
She wanted to smoke a bong.
Yeah, so I didn't know. So
smoking a bong was just
it was a given.
No,
yeah.
What that winds up becoming though,
there was no focus.
It's self-medication.
Yes,
it's a way to.
I don't know what I'm doing.
That ADHD thing, like I say, it's like it was described to me one time. But it's like you got a comedy here, a western here, or action here, or opera here. All of these movies playing at the same time. You're watching each one and you're understanding everything that's going on in each one of them. So your mind never has a chance to focus on anything.
Nothing.
So
that was you just described my entire childhood. Wow.
Real feels breakthrough.
And there again, I can remember my mother in high school, middle school, high school, just saying, I don't know. I don't know how to help my daughter. I don't know what's wrong. My daughter doesn't know what's wrong, and I don't know how to help you. And this is mom saying it after, a huge explosion. My explosions were incredible.
Like a mini nuclear bomb going off.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you want to break down an Aries to it, I am the definition of one. Just the pendulum. The emotional pendulum, and even I didn't know where it was in its swing, and it's.
Did you feel like an outcast?
Did you feel like an odd? How about a better word? I think you said it. Oddball. I like that. Use that word when I think like oddball. Like I don't fit in any one category, but I can relate to
all of them.
Right.
Actually, okay, then yes, because I was the skater chick who rocked Vans in a tunic, but I hung out with the cheerleaders because we all played softball together, but my two best friends were absolute misfits and prided ourselves when we took the senior photo in the auditorium in the gym. I kid you not, Stephanie, we set ourselves up top right. Literally off in the corner
to make sure.
So we knew it was going to be us, but we were separated from everybody because.
So when did the sex, drugs, and rock and roll come in play?
I think that's Mom and Dad moved to Woodstock.
Work hard, play hard.
Yeah, Dad retired the same year I graduated. I'm the youngest of four. Now my siblings are Irish triplets, so they are 52, 51, and 50, and then you go all the way down here and.
So you had a big difference.
There's a huge gap.
Yeah.
Huge gap.
So
and
you were by yourself.
You were
a lot. I very much experienced being an only child as well as being the youngest, like of four. I was an aunt by 4 years old, like my brother. Yeah. I was an aunt. It was cool. I'm now a great aunt. But so my siblings were there. There was always going back to my childhood and you saying like where like I can remember being constantly like daily angry for no reason. I can remember that starting in middle school, and you can contribute that to hormones, absolutely, and then you can contribute it into freshman year of high school. sophomore year. It's just hormones, right? But the outbursts were just always there. And I can remember opening my eyes. I was bawling before my feet touched the ground.
Yeah.
Bawling.
You ever went back and think about it? Like a deep
Not
thought?
until right now in this very moment.
Yeah.
You're watching this organic process right now.
Told you, Pat, this is a healing area. It's a healing area.
So, looking back at that episode in your life when you were in high school, was there one singular moment that you can think to that said, "Damn it, fuck"?
That didn't come till my 20s. No. Yeah. In high school, it wasn't a fuck. It was fuck you.
Rebel without
you
a cause.
You are so Stephanie's best
rebel
friend.
Rebel without a cause.
Like literally a rebel without a cause. It was just like I said, the level of anger was scary because I knew what I was capable of. And I think there was always a subconscious level of I knew I couldn't control it. Because there was always a level of shame after every outburst. Then here comes the shame and that self-loathing. I hate you, girl. Why'd we do that?
But guess what?
Why'd we do that? Now I got to go around and make all the apologies. And I did that for years. And what do we always say? What do you see on Facebook now? You know, with that, gassing yourself.